On Tech Electric Future, we're going to discuss today's most important truck of tomorrow, the CyberTruck. I live in Redondo Beach, California. Tesla's design studio, where the Tesla CyberTruck unveiling event was held, happens to be located in the neighboring city of Hawthorne, California. Now, I couldn't resist the temptation to hop on my Segway and check it out. Let's take a look. They completely transformed this facility for the CyberTruck unveiling event. They had movie props from various movies out, notably some Blade Runner vehicles. And the Back to the Future DeLorean. They had a giant Tesla coil on one corner of the lot where an ironclad couple played with high voltage energy and dazzled onlookers. Outside of the Tesla Design Center, there were crowds of people eagerly waiting. The area leading to the entrance to the event was cordoned off. If you didn't have a badge, you weren't getting by. At the check-in counter, you could only get in if you were invited.
The door's not open yet, but there's more people down now.
Prior to the start of the event, I detected Greg from Tesla Fan Insight and raced over there on my Segway to go and meet up with him.
But it's a smart move because it's right next to the rail spur, so it can easily be loaded from the rail cars and be stored there until it's needed at SpaceX. And so I just thought that was really to see that kind of stuff being stored. Can I help you? Oh, you are? Okay, great. We're definitely fascinated by what's going on here. I was kind of surprised because we have a fan that happened to roll up and say hello. Do you want to say a few words here to our crew? I'm Greg. Your name is?
I'm Ethan.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Howdy. Howdy. Do you want to have my special seating here? Do you want to sit for a second?
Sure. All right. So my name's Ethan, dressed up here for the CyberTruck event. I'm actually a fan of yours, Greg.
Thanks, man.
Sometimes wake up at 3 in the morning
okay.
to catch your episodes fresh, try to be your first light.
Thanks.
You and some other tubers have inspired me to order a Tesla.
Cool.
And I'm here on my Segway. Well, it's off to the side here, part of my electrified life. So I'm really buying into the electric future, to Elon Musk, the Tesla vehicles, and really excited to be here.
Any comments, questions you want to pose about Tesla Fan Insight, or any items that popped to mind here before we close that
No,
out?
I just wanted to say that I actually bought into some Tesla stock. So I'm also the gentleman that mentioned I wanted to get a jump on paying for my Model Y. And so my idea was to buy into the stock and then sell the stock when the vehicle's available and use that money to pay down the loan. But what's also occurred to me is that the Tesla stock may do so well that it could cost me a lot of money to sell my Tesla shares in order to buy the car. So I guess I'll probably end up selling off some of my other stocks. Valero Oil is one of those. So as soon as the Model Y arrives, that's out of there.
Terrific. Well, anyway, Ethan, thank you for taking time out, man. That's pretty wild.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
All right.
All right, enjoy the event here, and enjoy your Model Y. And
head back over. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right, ciao. Well, a little impromptu action here. You guys can't say you didn't get the straight dope.
Now, after meeting up with Greg from Tesla Fan Insight, I jammed back over to the Tesla Design Studio where the CyberTruck unveiling event had already started. Now, there wasn't a whole lot going on outside, but I hung out in the courtyard with some other bystanders. Picture with some randos, and meanwhile this was going on inside.
And then suddenly Grumpy Cat reincarnates as the MCP from Tron to say, no, definitely not. R.I.P. Grumpy Cat.
Well, folks, the initial reaction to Tesla's Cybertruck was pretty chilly. I tell ya, the cult fanboys were like, whoa. Normal fanboys were like, I'm not being fooled by that. Normal people were like, oh my god! Ew. And the fudsters were like, ha! This is it for Tesla! This is gonna be the nail in the coffin! The competition was like, oh, thank God, we're saved! Elon's insane! Now, in the days following the event, the media continued to be cold. The naysayers were out in force. Now, I don't know about you, but personally, I know that when the naysayers are out in force, I'm on the cusp of something good. The stronger the naysayers, the stronger I'm onto something good. Resistance to change. Now, one example where you see resistance to change is in general aviation. In general aviation, we're still using 1950s engine technology. Why? Well, because it's proven, they say. Consequently, the age of the average general aviation aircraft is over 30 years old. The cost of newer technology? Wow, get real. I mean, it is out of this world. Why, in 2019, with all of this new technology and cell phones that have more power than computers did 20 years ago that sat on your whole desk? Why are ATMs still so slow? People tend to have a comfort with the status quo. When everything stays the same, that's safe, that's predictable, that's familiar. When things stay the same, that requires no additional effort.
Why, in my day, everything that could be invented had been invented. Wait, you could just enjoy the things you already had. You didn't need these new convoluted, newfangled gadgetry. Well, tinkerers and doodlers, I tell you, just wasting your time. Just don't touch anything. Just leave things as they are. Just let things to be the same forever. Why don't you? Just you young jackals.
The first commercially successful internal combustion engine was created by this guy, around 1859, and the first modern internal combustion engine was created in 1876 by Nicholas Otto. Now, Elon Musk promised us something that looked like it came out of Blade Runner. Now, this truck looks like it came out of Blade Runner. I like this truck. Now, the presentation was largely reported as a disaster. They said it's fugly. They said it looks like a polygon. They said it looks like an Aztec. They said it looks like a kid drew it. They said it looks like pixel art. One of my friends says it looks like a Prius mated with a Cadillac and made the Cybertruck. Now, people really made a big deal about this armored glass breaking, and as far as I'm concerned, the only reason that that's a problem is because Elon said it wasn't supposed to break.
So first, this is regular glass. This is like normal glass, car glass. We want to show you what happens with normal car glass. Shatters immediately with a little ball. Now I'll show you Tesla armor glass. Nothing.
But it's glass, and glass is supposed to break when you throw a big ball bearing at it, and it broke.
Oh my God. Well, maybe that was a little too hard.
Should we try the beer?
Sorry? Okay. It didn't go through. So that's a plus side.
Let's try the
Right? Try that one? Really? Okay. Sure.
As far as I'm concerned, I was like,
It
that's
didn't go
what
through.
it's supposed to do. Now look, we've had some pretty shaky product revelations in the past. How about Bill Gates with Windows 98 and the scanner?
Let's plug it in. It's going to say, hey, I see you plugged in a new device. And it's going to load in the appropriate drivers. You'll notice that this scanner build... Whoa. Moving right along.
That must be why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet.
Absolutely.
How about the latest iPhone reveal? Face lock failure.
The reality of it in your hand, it's really something epic. So let's take a look. Here is iPhone 10. Now, unlocking it is as easy as looking at it and swiping up. And, you know, let's try that again. Ho, ho, ho. Let's go to backup here and get right in. So here we are, and you see this.
Now, a lot of people didn't like these angular lines, but I mean, if you look at the Chevy, what is that thing? The Avalanche? I mean, how did that thing even sell? When I first saw the CyberTruck, it was so radical and so different that I couldn't see immediately how this truck could be useful to me. Early adopters are people who want to have the latest and the greatest. People who want to save the planet. People who embrace new technology. People who are sick of Habibi with his AK-47 and all these wars. The first people who are going to be snapping up reservations for Tesla's new Cybertruck are going to be early adopters. Let's take a look at some other early adoptions in history.
Here we have an early 1980s Atari 2600 video computer system. This is a late 1980s Commodore 64 home computer. Here comes your early 1990s Compuserve.
Is a new shopping service that still allows you to stay at home. It's called Compuserve, and all you need is a home computer. The service has what it calls the electronic mall, with 300,000 subscribers and 100 merchants. You can punch up an entire inventory of items from large retail stores or small specialty shops. Select what you want and charge it to your credit cards. But is home shopping just a fad, or is it here to stay?
More and more people are working. You've got two-income families with less leisure time. So this is really something that makes it a lot easier for people to get along in life.
So now let's take a look at some dinosaur naysayers resisting new technologies of the past. Here we are looking at a 1900s buggy bouncing down the road. And here is the equivalent horse-drawn buggy. Now what you're about to see here is a classic scene of an automobile causing a fuss on the side of a road with a horseman. Look at that. Same to you. Now, cars were considered more dangerous than horses back in the day, and actually, they were quite deadly. Ironically, Christopher Reeves, who played the superhero Superman, was paralyzed on a horse, and now looks like a supervillain, or maybe Han from Hanson Robots. Early cars were apt to breaking down. They required maintenance like frequent valve cleanings and lubrication. They could leave you on the side of the road at any time. Huh, remember this guy? Oh, you thought you were a badass, huh? Yeah, same to you. Now, in spite of its operational economy, people did not embrace the automobile. For example, it cost about $200 a year to feed your horse, but it only cost about $35 a year to fuel your automobile. Today, the average cost to operate an electric vehicle in the United States is about $485, while the average cost for a gasoline-powered vehicle is $1,117. Although horses could reproduce by themselves, it was the advent of the assembly line that finally did them in. Kinda like how battery technology is finally doing in the internal combustion engine. Now, Tesla is a car maker who is innovating ahead of its time. Tesla is doing to cars what the internet did to computers. Before the internet, computers were very limited.
Alright, here we have a Commodore 64 just sitting here by itself doing nothing. Let's use it. Well, we're going to have to type. There's no mouse, so let's type load. Press enter and wait for a long time. Then in the 1980s, we have bulletin board systems. Well, that's just one computer that answers when you call it with your computer, and once connected, you're connected to the other ComputerNet. Now, once we get to the 1990s, we're finally able to call a group of computers. Here are the familiar sounds of a modem connecting to America Online. And at the turn of the millennium, the year 2000, what we now know today as the internet is starting to become so ubiquitous that even a caveman could do it. We're sharing files, downloading music, uploading pictures, watching videos, online banking, paying our bills, online shopping.
I'd like to encourage you to look at today in the past from the future. I'd like to encourage you to consider previous headwinds and breakthroughs. We are living in history. The greats like Aristotle, Socrates, Einstein, Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, the Wright brothers, Stephen Hawking, God bless the universe inside their brains. Elon Musk will be memorialized in the future as a more profound contributor to the progress of technology than all before him. Has it occurred to you that you are fortunate enough to coexist in this time? What's up with all this resistance, guys? All of this FUD and naysaying against Tesla, to me, it's like burning books. What is this, the Dark Ages? Open your mind, people. Maybe more things would happen if we would just let them happen. Now, trucks are generally marketed as tough. They've got these things pulling trains, trains,
We're going to be taking this prototype and we're going to be towing 10 double-decker freight cars weighing over 1 million pounds for 1,000 feet. You guys think we can do this?
You seem confident, but I'll be shocked.
No other truck has ever done it, but we are going to do it.
Moving the train. It's moving the train.
It's going.
It's moving, yes.
You've got to be kidding me right now.
That is impressive.
That's
She's doing
unreal.
it so easy.
I can feel the weight of the train behind us.
We've got them doing tugs of war.
You hear that? There ain't nothing there. This is a lost cause.
3, 2, 1. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, shoot.
We've got them doing tugs of war, bulletproof, sledgehammer proof. They're supposed to be ball bearing proof.
Los Angeles, November 2019. The sky got polluted. The world is addicted to oil.
It just felt like, well, it's just smog. It's just LA. LA is a smoggy place.
CyberTruck. The #1 mode of transport for CyberGo.
Now, trucks are generally marketed as tough. They're great for the contractor. They're great for the farmer. They're great for the tough guy. They're great for the cowboy. The irony is, what are the demographics of a typical truck buyer? What about your typical city and town dwellers, like, I don't know, soccer mom? How much you want to make a bet that a common mission of a Cybertruck is grocery getting? I mean, hey, remember that chick that was driving the Ford 250 electric prototype? I don't know how many times I see a gigantic Suburban rolling down the road with a tiny little mom driving it. It's comical. What about those white-collar guys? Alright, folks. You think this episode took a long time to watch? Imagine if you're the one who had to make it. This episode has got to end soon. Now here's some real trucks and the types of things that you find in them. Now here's the CyberTruck. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tech Electric Future. Listen, it takes a long time to put a cool video like this together. I put all of this together with all the spare time that I don't have. I would appreciate your help so much. Likes, subscribe. Consider supporting me on Patreon. And if you're going to order any Tesla products, please use my referral code. I would appreciate your help so much. Likes, subscribe.